All right, so today I want to talk a little bit about luck, and to the dismay of many people who hate the fact that I do these videos to a video game every now and then, I will be doing this to a video game. So that being said, let's get into the game. Actually can't, I'm waiting for battle, which takes forever, especially if everybody's lagging. So today I want to talk about luck. And this is something that came up in the minimum wage video, which is why I want to bring it up, because there are a lot of people that say, Lewis, you worked hard and you tried this and you tried that, but you were lucky. Other people are not as lucky as you, and because they weren't as lucky as you, they are not going to be able to do the same thing. So let's just get out of the minimum wage discussion for a little bit. And also what I was discussing in that entire video that I guess I did a poor job of getting across is, if you have somebody who is never had a job, he's in high school, and then you have somebody who has 4 or 5 years of job experience. The guy with the 4 or 5 years of job experience may want 15 an hour, the way that the 16-year-old that's never had a job can differentiate himself and say, hey, I don't have the experience, but I'm cheaper. When you raise the minimum wage, now I as a business owner have to choose 15 bucks an hour. Do I want no experience, or do I want this guy who has experience who's willing to work 15 an hour? What you've done is you've brought it to a point where I would have to be an idiot to hire the person with no experience and no knowledge over the person at 15 an hour, because you've pretty much taken that lower wage person and said you now have to compete in a higher price bracket. You're not competing with everybody else that has no experience in the 875 bracket. All those people that when they're searching for a job, they will say, figure out this is what I need to live, who type 15 into the minimum hourly wage on a job classified site, you're now competing with them. You're competing in a price bracket that's nearly, double your current one. And I don't see how that would help people. I know there are a lot of people who are willing to work for 15 bucks an hour, and they have a couple of years experience. The only reason for me to hire a 16-year-old in high school, unless he's some prodigy, or she, is that they're willing to work for less than 15. But anyway, outside of that, I had a lot of people talking about luck. Lewis, the reason that you accomplished these things, but a lot of that was luck. Other people could try to do the exact same thing and fail. And the reason that I yell at people who say this is because I used to say the exact same thing when I was 17 years old. One of my first real bosses at a job in Manhattan, Sam Fields, he used to say, he was in his 80s at the time, so I'm sure he's in his mid-90s now. He used to say, he had this really thick Texan accent, and also since he was old, he was missing almost all of his teeth. So you combine old, missing almost all of his teeth with Texan accent, and he would say, Lois, there is no luck. You make your own luck. And he'd grab me and shake me because it was that important that he get me out of this attitude. And he had produced a bunch of amazing records. He had worked with he would work with Stevie Wonder. He had produced, he had an amazing studio 50, 60 years ago. He started his own business many times over. He was doing his thing. He was very experienced. And the reason he would say this is very simple. See, when you accomplish something, everybody's going to say, oh, look, that's luck. You accomplished that because of good luck. But when you fail, nobody is going to look at you and say, oh, you have bad luck. Most of the time when you fail, people will criticize. They're not going to say, oh, you had bad luck, there's nothing I'm going to say. They're going to say, well, you should have financially planned better. They're going to say, well, you should have anticipated this. You should have anticipated that. That it's not luck. So one example, when I talk about the issue where I realized in a day that I had lost 30,000 bucks, I hired a web designer to work on my site. This fucktard, Veracom Technologies, by the way, in Manhattan in the financial district. These fucktards, named Veracom, what they did is they changed my site, so instead of it being authorized in sale, it would then only authorize, which was, why the fuck would you do that? I set up a website with merchant services that works. You leave everything the same. You fix the thing I needed you to fix, which has absolutely nothing to do with that part of the site. And you change it to only authorize transactions. Why would you do that? Why? Anyway, so for a certain period of time, it was authorizing the transaction. So the money, which you would see the money, but then 7 to 10 days after you had authorized the money, if I didn't manually hit capture, which I don't do because this is not like the 1950s and 60s where I actually care about doing that. I expect that when somebody buys something, it fucking take their money. It would give the money back to the customer. So since it wasn't like, oh, there's an error, this didn't work, or oh, you didn't get this money, it was, oh, you got this money, but 10 days later it gave it back to the customer without notifying me, I didn't notice it. And there was a high volume of sales, and since there was, I add expenses to QuickBooks every day, but this isn't something that I'm going to be able to notice without at least a month of looking. I didn't notice it, and that wound up being $30,000, and I recovered a good portion of it. There's also about 8 or 9,000 I didn't recover, which really taught me just how grimy the average cell phone repair shop is. Never, ever, ever give cell phone repair shops credit. Like never. It wasn't the one-off customers and home people that didn't pay me back. All of those paid me back when I called. It was the repair shops with more than 2 or 3 locations that didn't. So like that could be a 2-hour video in and of itself, just going through my spreadsheet and going over everyone that never paid. But my point here is, I felt, a lot of people told me, Louis, you were an idiot there. You should have been checking that every day. You should be checking your account every day to make sure payments are captured and authorized. That you should be checking your website every day. I would have been checking the back end of my Magento store every day just to make sure a setting didn't change. And you'll see all the people that'll get on their high horse and they'll button their polo shirt all the way up to the top like this. And after they've buttoned their polo shirt all the way to the top, and fuck, because I was buttoning my polo shirt, I'm not going to kill the tower. Fuck. They're going to do all that to seem very professional. They're going to tell you what they would have done, and they're going to say that you were an idiot. But the moment that you accomplish something that they were unable to accomplish, oh, you don't get to hear about how you're smart now. You don't get to hear about personal responsibility. You get to hear about how you were just lucky, and if only they had your luck that they would succeed in life. Why is it that when I fail, I'm an idiot, but when I succeed, oh, I'm lucky? And this is not something I'm bringing up in defense of myself, because personally I don't give a fuck what people that I don't know think of me. I care what people who I've worked with for 10 years think of me. I care about what the people close to me think of me. I don't care about random jackasses. I'm not, it's just irrelevant. But the reason I bring it up is because it was something that used to be damaging to me in my own life. I would attribute other people's failures to idiocy, but other people's successes to luck. And here's the problem with attributing something to luck. There's no way that you can take personal accountability or responsibility for luck. If I attribute your success to the things that you did, the things that you didn't do, the people you surrounded yourself with, anything like that, then there's a formula that I can follow. There's a formula that I can make sense of okay, maybe he didn't even do the work, but he met this person and he knew that if he talked to this person in that way and motivated them, that they would help him. At least like with that, there's something that I can take away from it. There's a lesson that I can learn. But if I simply attribute everything to luck, I can't reproduce luck. I can't study luck. There's nothing I can do with that. So when you attribute somebody else's success to luck, what you're doing is saying out loud, there is no way that I can follow in the footsteps of this individual. There is no way for me to reasonably achieve what this individual has achieved. And that is complete fucking bullshit. And it's a mindset that I had for many years, and it was a mindset that kept me prisoner for a long time. I'm not going to say the name of the business, but there are businesses that I know that, again, just the way they were run, the way they treated employees, the way they learned or did not learn, and the way they managed everything was just so fucking abysmal. It was almost as if it was managed by a drug user. It was almost as if I wasn't kidding about it being managed by a drug user. And I would attribute everything that they did successfully to luck. And I would say, curse them, they're so lucky, I don't get anything, and even though I work really hard, I'm not where I want to be. This sucks, and I guess that's just the way the world is. And I didn't want to be like them because I saw that they ran things like a complete fucking shit show. However, because I was focused on how lucky they were and not the things they were actually doing right and the things they were doing wrong, because I just classified it as they're idiots who are lucky, I never sought to emulate the very, and I do mean very, very few, the very few things that separated them apart, the very few things that they did right. And by implementing the very few things that they did right into my business model, while ignoring the entire clusterfuck of things they did wrong, I was able to make myself more successful. The moment I stopped focusing on how they were lucky and rather started focusing on how I could start bringing value to what I was doing, everything just started to feel like it was possible. It started to seem like something I can actually achieve. I talked in a previous video about goals and how there were valid goals and invalid goals. So for example, a valid goal is I will produce the best sounding microphone for high SPL applications that there ever was in a small package. An invalid goal is I will make $500,000 in the audio industry. The first one you can work to achieve. The second one is an invalid goal because there's nothing that's not actionable. Like, how can I design a better microphone? Or how can I market a better microphone? That's actionable. You can start doing that. Making $500,000 is not something that's going to happen unless you actually work or do something to make it happen. Whether you want to be the best investor, the best engineer, or the best bank robber, you have to be good at something in order to make that happen. Even if you want to be a bank robber. I'm not suggesting it as a career, but that's a valid goal because that's an actionable thing. I want to be the best bank robber. That's an actionable goal. I want to make $500,000 is not an actionable goal. And the same thing is true when it comes to luck. I want to become lucky is not an actionable goal. Feel free to insert a joke about how something related to having a one-night stand in there. If I had all my marbles, I could predict what that would sound like. But the whole idea is the second that you start focusing on luck, you remove yourself from that equation. You remove yourself as somebody who has control over your own life. That's why I hate the word luck. I hate the word luck almost as much as I hate getting ganked in the woods by 5 people. But it's bound to happen to me because I suck at Dota. I suck at Dota, man. I'm never going to be good at this game. I'm never going to be good at this game like I was as a teenager. Part of becoming an adult is that I suck more at games. I got some good advice from Sam Fields. There was a lot of advice that was meh. But that one about luck, Lewis, you make your own luck, was such a game changer for me. When you realize that you're in control of your own life, it just makes everything easy. It's not that it's not that guy is lucky. That's why he has the money for a better hot air station. It's that he did this, that, and the other. So I do this, that, and the other too. And what do you know? I have what I want. It doesn't mean that I have to do everything the exact same way that they did it. I don't have to walk in their footsteps exactly. All it means is just start focusing on what's real. Luck is not real. And it's something I have to remind myself every day because it's a trap that I often fall into. Is it luck? Or is it that I was willing to live in a shithole? Is it luck that I have a really affordable store in a really good location? Everybody says that's luck. I couldn't get a store that size. Were you walking up and down the streets of Manhattan when it was 9 degrees outside with 24-mile-per-hour winds for 2 hours every single day for months on end? Like, again, if you want to say luck, that's fine, whatever. It doesn't hurt me if you call it luck. It only hurts you if you're looking to accomplish the same thing. Because if you attribute it to something I did, then you can ask what I did, and then we can talk about how if you go through a certain area of the Lower East Side, the East Village, and the area on 8th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue, how there's over 90 vacant storefronts and a bunch of places that are leaving. I don't know why. Even Barnes & Noble is leaving that area. I have no idea why, but there's a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people walking around, and a lot of people vacating. If you don't attribute it to luck, then we can then have a dialogue. We can then have a conversation where we work to learn. But if you attribute it to luck, well, you're just up shit's creek, because I guess you're never going to be as good as me because I'm so lucky. What a shit way to think. Like so many people, they look at Craigslist classified ads, they look in the paper, they go to a real estate broker that's going to fucking sodomize them 6 ways to Sunday, and that's it. What about simply walking up and down the street? You're going to find signs. You may find some sign from a real estate broker that you wouldn't have seen. You may find a store that you didn't know about and then contact the broker for it. You're going to see something that you wouldn't see if you're just looking on Craigslist and visiting one broker. And for me, it was easy. For me, walking was my stress relief. I would work 12, 13 hours a day, and then I would walk to the train that was closest to the bridge, and then I would just go home from there. Walking for half an hour to an hour a day, especially if it was cold outside, because then I could walk really fast without it affecting me. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why is there always 3 of you and 1 of me? Motherfucker. I'm going to another lane. Fuck that shit. Anyway, when you look at it that way, it's easier. It was easy for me to do this because it was easy for me to decide I'm just going to walk around, not because I want to find a space. If I find a space, that's a bonus because I'm looking for a new space, just because I want to clear my head. And then you can look at it that way, and then you can figure out what I did, and then you can emulate it. But you can't emulate, you can't emulate an illusion. You can't emulate something that doesn't exist. You can't emulate luck. Luck is in your mind. You make your own luck. He had a lot of other good sayings. One is, Lois, you hate nothing. You intentionally dislike it. That's something honestly, I'm still not doing a good job of following that one. I agree with it, but I'm doing a crappy job of following it. Lois, you hate nothing. You intentionally dislike it. The idea is when I would use the word hate, he would correct me. And the reason is the word hate is a word that he attributed to actively having a negative feeling for somebody on your free time. So for example, if I see you at a bar and I don't think highly of you and I don't want to have a conversation with you, so I just continue talking to my friends, and then I slowly move the conversation over to a pool table and you're not around, that's intensely disliking you. Hating you is when I decide that I'm going to go over to the pool table, but even though you're out of sight and out of mind, I still have anger towards you. I still have ill will towards you. I still have hate towards you. Even in these videos, when I use the word hate, I still believe that I don't hate, that I intensely dislike. I just have to correct myself because I know I'm using the wrong word. Even if I do a video where I seem like I am just out of my mind crazy over something that pissed me off, the second that I hit stop recording and open broadcaster, it's done. I talked about it just long enough to let you know what my thoughts were on it, but once I'm done letting you know what my thoughts are on the subject, that's it. Finally! Can I get ahead? Can I get ahead? Can I get... Oh, double kill, motherfucker! Fuck you! Fuck you in the ass, you piece of shit. You fucking golem. I have no trash talk. It's like midnight right now. I woke up at 5:15 today. I'm dead. I'm about to be literally dead. You know why I'm not dead? Because I bought boots as my first item. How about that? All you fucking Dota engineer trolls. Lewis get boots later in the game. He hit me. I had 54 HP. I bought boots as my first item. That's why I am still alive. If my move speed were like 290 instead of 335, where would I be right now? I wouldn't be anywhere good. That's what I'm telling you. Always, always, always get boots as your first item. It pisses off the Dota engineers even more than using too much flux and pronouncing solder with 2 Ds pisses off the electronics engineers. I have a lot of fun pissing off the engineers. Like whether it's a Dota engineer, electronics engineer, whatever it is, it's something about pissing off engineers that just it fuels me. It fuels me. I love it. The online engineers, I think that's what it is. It's not real life people. I don't want to piss off actual, like, real gamers. I don't want to piss off, like real electronics engineers. I do like pissing off the ones that pretend to be on the internet, though. You don't hate anything. You intensely dislike it. And that changed my entire worldview on negative feelings. Because it's so easy to get, because that's the thing about luck. It's like luck starts turning into this poisonous thing where you think that somebody else is successful and has a nice home and has all the things they want in life because of luck rather than the things that you could be doing differently. So now you're viewing life as if they have, you don't have control over it. You don't have control over your own life, which frustrates you. Frustration is going to lead to hate, so now you actively hate someone. So in addition to not doing something on your spare time that will be productive for you, you're now going to sit there and hate somebody. So not only are you not doing something productive for yourself, you're filling that time that you otherwise could have been productive with hatred for another person. Again, when I'm sitting down in my home by myself, I don't care about the women that cheated on me. I don't care about Tim Cook. I don't care about Kilpatrick and Townsend. I don't care about the customer that cursed me out that day. It's like intense dislike, sure. Hate, again, when the microphone is off and I'm done talking about it, I could give two shits of a fuck about 90% of these things that you would think that I hate. Except for Bloodseeker. Fuck this motherfucker. Oh, man, I'm going to get killed by the tower. I got greedy. I wanted to ult. And now he's going to use his ability to fucking run up on me and kill me. If he's smart. Hopefully he's not smart. Oh, no, there's a person there. No, no, no. Run, you fat fuck. Run, you piece of shit. Give me invisibility, regen? No, of course not. Oh, mother. Get him. Revenge. Avenge me. Avenge. Oh, you fucking pussy. I'm not going to say that I'm going to defend anything that Keemstar does. It's so easy to trash talk when you're playing a video game late at night. Again, I'm not going to say that it's okay to say, everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid... You know what I'm going to say there. I'm not going to say that's right. All I'm saying is it is so easy to get amped up when you're playing a video game. Like, I don't sit there in front of customers and go, bitch-ass motherfucker, when something doesn't go the way I want. But when I'm playing Dota, it's so easy to do that. We're down by 6. But we're going to win. Especially now that I can concentrate in the game because I'm done with my rant. For me, it's always about control. Do I want to give somebody else control of my life? Do I want to give control of my life away to some foofy-poofy fairy tale crap like luck? Or do I want to control it? When something bad happens to me, it's not bad luck. It's something that I did. If I own my failure, if I own all of it, then that means that I have to own my successes as well. And I try to own all of it. And sometimes sometimes I use the word luck. Sometimes I use the word luck in a way that I'm telling you not to use it. So this is a video that I should rewatch myself because oftentimes I'm going to make the wrong decision. It's easy to start blaming. It's easy to start feeling sorry for yourself. It's easy to start attributing magical characteristics to other people that don't, just because of whatever. Like, it's easy for people to just jump to assumptions about what others did or what their circumstances were. And it's easy to assume that somebody else had it easier to make yourself feel better for where you are. I feel like so many people put others, and they say, look at how easy they had it, or look at how much help they had, or look at how much luck they had, because it then makes them seem cooler by comparison. It then makes their lack of accomplishment seem better by comparison. Fuck me, I'm gonna get killed because this person's a pussy. Is this person gonna come back and help? Who are we kidding? That was some bullshit ass help. Fuck you, Wind Ranger. I am not helping you again. It's easy to look past the shitbox apartment that took me about 4 months to find. Didn't have any fucking hot water for a month. Had to use Aircrack NG and a Pringles can to get internet. Had to sleep on the floor. To walk half a mile to do my laundry. The next place after that, they had water leaks. Roommate that fucked everything that breathed. The door right next to my bed, which was a spring thing. A room that was like this big. Mouse problem. Fuck that. You know why I lived there? So that I could afford an ultrasonic cleaner and a fucking Hacko. I'm not kidding. I looked at my budget and it's like I could either afford to buy an ultrasonic cleaner and a Hacko, or I could afford to live someplace with dignity. I chose a Crest and a Hacko over dignity. Over basic living dignity. Over turning the shower on and having the water shoot out at me versus like somebody like fucking like some 90-year-old pissing at me. I don't want to go in this lane because I'm going to get killed. I don't want to go in this lane because it's empty. I don't want to go in this lane because these jackasses are always fighting neutral creeps. So it seems like wherever I go, I'm going to get fucked. I think I'm just going to start kill-stealing neutral creeps from this dude. Maybe that'll encourage him to get back in the game. Yeah, we're screwed. There's just no concept here of like not committing suicide. They just run straight in. What the fuck was that, man? It's like we're literally all running back and he runs into 3 heroes on his own. Why? And he ran in with low HP. And the other guy didn't even have low HP, so it wasn't even like he had a chance of getting a kill. Kill a couple of creeps and then go back. I feel like there's 3 people up ahead. And they can so obviously tell we're here. This is a joke. What are you doing by yourself, you dumb fuck? What? Why? Why? Don't kill yourself again. You torrent scrotum. Torrent totem. Alright, time to get Yasha. Tired of getting killed with speed. Sanjin Yasha. At least they're starting to stick together. This gives me hope. This gives me hope. Oh, move speed of 388. It's still fucking slow, but yeah. Axe is not made to be a fast hero, I guess. 388, that's a joke. Ah, cat hair. I see some suicide is being committed here. I'm not gonna die. No, no 2 versus 5 for me. Can I get any experience without dying from here? I check the score every now and then because I want to make sure that it's not just me bitching about somebody sucking. I want to see if they actually do. So when I say that Earthshaker sucks and I see that he's 2-11, yeah. I mean, I'd rather be 2-2, 3-2, or 11-5, but I'd rather be 2-5 than 2-11. And again, it would be best to speak when you're not the one getting killed. That would be the smart thing to do. This is interesting. So I got a Yelp review like about, I'm not kidding, it was about 2 or 3, I think 3 years ago, from somebody saying that that we damaged their machine and dropped it. And I said, all right, we insure these devices, so if you can take a picture and send it, we'll file a claim. And the guy was so intent that we never dropped it. I mean, that we dropped it and then it wasn't shipping. I actually received it like that. That was the funny thing. That he refused to let us file any type of shipping claim and just jumped to the 1-star, which is something I understand. What I think is interesting is actually uploading picture 3 years later. Like you leave the review in 2013 or so, and then you upload pictures in 2016. Like I don't know what's more interesting, like A, that you're still that like triggered over it 3 years later, or B, the idea like what could you possibly do to your machine in 3 years? Think about it, like if I said a company scratched my phone in 2012, and then I take pictures of it in 2016 to show you that, like, How many times did this thing get smashed against my keys in my pocket? Interesting. I was kind of wondering, like, man, that's like 2 or 3 pictures, which are bullshit, by the way, because as I commented, it was in the notes, like, this thing came to us in the shit condition. Like, you know those machines where you look at them and it's like a layer, like you see that it's aluminum, but it's kind of like aluminum and brown because they eat over it and they wipe their ass with it and they never, ever, ever clean it. Like, we had a machine come in a few months ago that had a little centipede pop out of it. Fucking disgusting. But this is one of those machines. And it was like, we don't put dirt in the notes unless it's, you know that character from the Peanuts comics, you know, Pigpen, the one that, I think it was Pigpen, you know, the one that walked around with the little blanket, like the dirty blanket, like that. We don't put notes in the ticket unless it's like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. You'll see notes like this is Pigpen's from Peanuts. So when we put that in and it's like, oh, I received it back and it didn't look perfect, it's like, no. Because we'll put in the notes like, oh, this arrived scratchless. This arrived 110%. Oh, fuck. Wherever I go, I'm screwed. These guys know how to gank. Like, they know how to stick together and they know how to gank. They really, like, I'll give them that. Oh, yeah, I was wondering, I'm like, looking at this, like, why is a bad review not accompanying this? Since, oh, these pictures are going to a 3-year-old review. How relevant. Gotta love Yelp, and with my luck, those will probably become my profile pictures. Instead of being, like, just... Like, that's the thing I don't get. Like, whether or not you agree that the corner that has a dent in it was caused during shipping or caused by me, as if the individual is some type of expert that can tell whether like, was it me that punched it or was it the post office that punched it? You must be some CSI level fucking ninja to be able to tell whether I dropped it or the post office dropped it. Like, you gotta be on some next level shit to do that. But even regardless of all that, regardless, like, insurance will pay for that. We do insure the devices. We pay an extra 10 or 20 bucks with every shipment to insure these things for a good amount of money. Why not take advantage of that? Like, why not let insurance pay you to replace all these? Or even if you're going to live with the dent, why not let insurance write you a $750 check, is what I don't get. Because even if you don't want to fix the dent, wouldn't you like to receive a check for $750 and live with the dent, rather than get a check for $0 and live with the dent and be able to bitch about it? Like, that's what I don't get. You could even still leave the 1-star review after you get the insurance check. So we can file the claim, you send the pictures, you send the note, because the way for an insurance claim to work, here's the interesting thing. For an insurance claim to work, both parties have to agree on what happened. So they have to write a letter pretty much stating what they thought happened, and then I have to say this is correct and then submit it. And I used to think that this is a formality. Like, what's the point of making the customer do this? And the thing is, this is where the insurance company actually wins. Like, there's no way in which he wins. I don't win because I have a 1-star review. He doesn't win. His computer has a dent on it. Whether he wants to say that I bashed the living shit out of it for fun, because that's just, I find that makes it easier for me to make money, is just bashing machines and sending them back to people. Or whether it was the post office that did it through horrid packaging, that whatever. The point here is that he would have a check. So he could even have the right to be totally mad. He can even think I'm the person who dropped it and think I'm the biggest asshole in the world. But he could be thinking I'm an asshole, sitting there looking at his $750 check. He could spend that on a year's membership to a spa. He could spend that on a gym membership. He can spend that on a new 4K television. But he would rather sit there and complain, which I don't understand. It's like there's just fundamentally no way to prove the difference between the postman going and me going. It's one of those things where it's like I don't see where you win. Like, I see where you get angry, but I don't see where you win. And I can even understand where it is you get angry. I can even understand if you want to get angry. But I see how you can get angry and you could win, but you're purposely choosing not to win. And I don't see how that gets anything done. There's a lot about regular people's behavior that I just don't understand. Again, like totally unbiased for me. Remove me from this equation. Let's say you think that I beat the shit out of it. Why not leave that review and everything after an insurance claim? Because that's the thing, unless you actually have a camera that shows that I beat the crap out of that proves that I purposely took the humbler and beat the shit out of the corner rather than the postman doing that, there's no way to prove it one way or the other. The one thing I think people don't notice about Yelp as a platform is that people become skeptical if you have too many reviews that are too good. So if you have 0 reviews that are below 4 or 5 stars, people start to think that the review site itself is not legitimate or that you're faking your reviews. So what I'll argue is that 4.5 star is right where you want to be. You have enough good ratings that people know you offer a legitimate service, but you have enough bad ratings that people will then trust that the review site is legitimate. And the reason this is compatible with my business model is I will go, I would say, 95% out of my way to do amazing service, but that last 5%, like, I don't do. I've never been good at doing the last 5%. Like, for example, I don't want to be mean about it. Somebody sent in a phone for data recovery. We recovered all the data. It was a liquid damaged and destroyed phone, like just really bad shape, really bad shape. We did it for $250, which is a joke. You send that phone to Drive Savers, you're paying over $2,000. You send that phone, I hate to say this out loud, I love Jessa, I love iPad Rehab, God bless them. You send it to her, for the exact same turnaround, she'll be $400. And by the way, I'm matching her at that price now. Fuck that. Fuck that. I literally, like, after this experience, I literally logged into the website and just upped my price, like, double. But like literally nobody else is going to do the level of service that was received here at that price. And something bad happens. It gets lost in the mail, right? The phone gets lost, and so does the data. Well, I still have the data on the backup server, so I can send the data. The issue is that they no longer have the phone. Now, since the phone itself is broken, since we're sending you back a physically, just damaged phone, I don't wish to commit insurance fraud and insure it for the entire cost of the device. So what I do is I insure it for the $300. So the way this works, let's say the phone is $600 when it works. You can do an out-of-warranty swap at Apple with this device. So you can take your iPhone 6, you can put it in the bottom of the ocean, scuba dive, pick it up out of the bottom of the ocean with algae and sushi and sea creatures all over it, and plop it down on the desk at an Apple store, still wet, and for $300 or $299, they will swap it with a working phone, which is great. So because of the retail value being $6 and the fact that they will swap it for $299 or $3, I put the value of the piece of shit phone at $3, which is just the honest value. I'm about to get fucked again because he's level 23 and I'm level 14. Is this even a game at this point? Anyway, so I insure it for $300. So I say, ma'am, I'm incredibly sorry. Here's what I can do. I mean, I didn't have much to do with this, but I feel bad. I'm going to send you a new USB flash drive with your data. I'm not going to charge you for the USB flash drive, and I'm going to file an insurance claim to pay you for the value of the phone that doesn't work. I'm sorry. This genuinely sucks. I feel bad here. This is what I can do. That's not acceptable. No. That's not acceptable. I need the data recovery fee waived. What? And this is the difference between the 5-star business and the 4.5-star business. The 4.5-star business strives to be fair. The 4.5-star business strives to be fair, strives to do what is right, what is honest, what is good, and to make things right when they don't go well. But the 4-star, half-star business does not bend over and do this. And I know when I fucked up, I know when somebody who works with me, even with like the post office, fucks up. And I'll deal with it. But there's a difference between making things right and bending over or just sucking a dick. And the difference is how you handle that. Will I recover your data at 10% the fucking cost of drive savers? Check. Did I recover your data at the same speed that Jessa would at probably 60% the price, which I will never fucking do again? Never. I'm not kidding. After this phone call, I literally logged into the site and just changed the price. Check. Did you get good service from beginning to end? Check. Were we polite and courteous? Check. Will I fully fix the situation by giving you a device of the equal value back? Check. Will I send you a flash drive again for free? Pay out of pocket? Check. Will I waive the data recovery fee because of the customer experience? Like, no. I will contend that your customer experience was not great, and I will attempt to correct it. But that's the difference between if you go to a $1,200 restaurant and there's a hair in your food, they comp the whole meal. If you go to McDonald's and there's a hair in your meal, oh, excuse me, sir, let me cut out that part of your chicken nugget, you know? There's a part where you gotta be realistic. I'm not waiving the data recovery that I know that Jessa and one other company in the world are going to be able to do properly without fucking up the phone because the postman lost it. I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm sorry that the postman lost it. That I'm sorry about. But I'm sorry for the fact that negatively emotionally affected you to the point where you need a full refund. I think that's this thing where people are just kind of used to being consumers. Like they're used to being consumers and they're used to reading on forums and hearing from family members. If you push, they will try to make you happy. So people kind of try to push and push and push, and they think that they're dealing with this they think they're dealing with the Four Seasons restaurant manager, but you're not. I don't care. I will do what is fair, but I don't care. I don't care to that extent. A 5-star business would have said, yes, ma'am, I'm so sorry that you had a negative experience. I will recover your data for free, and I will send you a new flash drive for free, and I will follow your insurance claim for free. No. You are entitled to... Fuck, I suck at Dota. You are entitled to what the phone was worth, your data, and a sincere, heartfelt apology. That is it. That's the thing you have to think about. If you decide that you're going to raise your service level to the point where if somebody says, you know what, I thought this would be a little better, that rather than meet them halfway, that you just bend over all completely, you have to adjust your prices accordingly, which means everybody is going to wind up paying more. And there's so much that gets subsidized here as is. The no fixes get subsidized. The fact that the employees get a living wage, in spite of all the crap I got in my last video about how a completely untrained, knows nothing about computers, brand new employee who I'm training is starting at 10 an hour rather than the usual 18 or 25. There's the living wages get subsidized. So many, the Manhattan store gets subsidized. The fact that we care gets subsidized. The fact that we spend time with people before and after things, talking to them even when they're not going to pay gets. There's only so much that can get subsidized. I'm just not at a point where I'm ready to subsidize somebody feeling like they're, they can just bend me over and F me because that's what they want to do that day. I'm not going to charge everybody $1,000 for their data recovery just so that when that happens, you got to think about that. You'll know what's fair. And usually I would go a little too far with giving away too much, which is something that my salesman just kind of tries to. Why did I go up to this guy? He's level 23. Why did I just do that? Anyway, he'll check me on. He'll say, listen, I understand it was a bad situation, and that person has a right to receive their money back for, let's say, something that didn't work. They don't have the right to you buying them a new $3,000 device when they came in with a $1,000 one because the repair to their $1,000 thing didn't work. It's you gotta meet people halfway. You'll see what's fair. the argument here was that that person had some type of specific insurance, and that the insurance that they had was the type of insurance where they would give the phone and they wouldn't even have to pay the $299. They would get it for free. So me paying $299 wasn't good enough because they were going to give that phone for free and get a phone for $600. And while I understand where they're coming from, while I genuinely understand what they're coming from, Drive Savers would have charged you $2,600 for the same thing. And they said, actually, no, Drive Savers was going to charge us $850 or $850 or something like that, right? And I go, firstly, I've never heard of Drive Savers charge $850 for a cell phone liquid damage data recovery. That doesn't happen. That just doesn't exist. Secondly, let's say that that's correct, and let's say that that was real. You're proving my point. You literally saved $600 by not using them. So, like, you see my point here, why I'm not going to do that. Like, so I changed my policy. The base price has gone up for data recovery. And also, I tell people getting the phone back in any way, shape, or form is a bonus. I used to say that you, depending on what type of data recovery we did, you may or may not be able to show it and may or may not be able to swap it via insurance or whatever, based on your insurance's policies for having other people open the phone. I used to say you may or may not, but I can't guarantee it. Now I'm just telling people you're not getting your phone back. You will get your stuff on a USB stick that you provide, but you are not getting, again, I never want to go through any of this, oh, my broken phone is worth more than the value of a broken phone, therefore you owe me an amount of money that is greater than what I paid, therefore you need to pay me for the fact that you spent time recovering my data. This is one of those things where it's almost my fault for setting the bar so low. It's like I set the data recovery at $250 for a fucking saltwater damaged cell phone. I set the price so low. I set the expectation that you could bring it back. No. There are so many companies that won't even give you the phone back when they're done. Like, so many will not even send. There are so many companies in the $1,000 plus range that do this, where I'm not kidding. They won't even send your phone back in a bag when they're done. They will give you back nothing. This is like, I mean, what we do to some extent is peanuts. And that's the thing. If you charge a rate that is peanuts, and you treat your service like peanuts, whose fault is it but mine? Whose fault is it but mine that the service is perceived as peanuts? I don't know how I got off into that rant. The Yelp picture uploaded 3 years after the review. I just think that's got to be like some type of special brand of raging. Is there any point to even trying to kill this guy? I guess I could try using my ult. Oh! Who am I kidding? I'm dead. It was worth it to do that, though. Fuck if I'm waiting a minute and a half. Everybody's going to be dead by then. I should have. My entire team is dead, and there's no way I'm killing this dude on my own. I'm way too weak to kill this guy on my own. That's the thing, like, if somebody said that about a negative customer experience in my data recovery, like, if my saltwater data recovery was like $900, and you're like, you owe me $100, I'm probably not going to bother arguing. But at $250, there's just like, there's only so much you can move. There's genuinely only so much that you can do when you are charging peanuts. Come on. I'm going to catch up, and I'm going to fucking kill him. I have Sanjin Yasha. I can run faster than this little shit. Bah, you got greedy. If he kept running home, I would have not killed him. He got greedy. He decided to run back for the regen. It wasn't good enough for him to get to the fountain. He had to not just get to the fountain, he had to regen to full HP before he got to the fountain. Look at me giving a lecture on Dota. Look at me trying to give a lecture when I'm fucking 4 and 11. I shouldn't be lecturing shit. Still. I don't know, we haven't lost yet. So I feel like there's still hope. There's always hope. Until you lose, there's always hope. Excuse me. Oh shit. I was raising my GPU fan so that they wouldn't crash. I'm at 62 Celsius. You know what a luxury it is to have a video card that can actually go to 62 Celsius and not crash? There was a long time with this computer that if that thing went to 49 Celsius, I knew that I had opened the side of the case. Second went over 50. It was dead. As dead as I'm about to be when Bloodseeker runs over and kills me. Which is probably about to happen in a second. Yes, lead the hero that wants to kill you straight to me. Great. That's the thing with luck, because there was in this other business, I'm not going to say the name of, they used to have all these customers that just never, ever complained, and when anybody did, it was just so easy to deal with, and they fucked up a lot of stuff. Like just a lot of ridiculous stuff. I thought it was luck. When I realized that raising the prices meant that they were dealing with different types of people, and that dealing with those different types of people were the type of people that weren't going to complain about every single little thing, then it just put things in perspective. Gave me a little bit more control. Okay, just end the game. I know I suck. I'm aware that I suck. Just finish it. Just finish it, man. I have such bad luck at Dota. And that's it for today. Do I suck at this game or do I suck at this game? I am looking forward to one thing. There's a podcast that I did at the AMP Hour with Dave Jones at EEV Blog. It wound up coming out to something like an hour and 30 or an hour and 40 minutes. We'll see what it's like when it's edited. It was really cool talking with him. He's a really genuinely cool guy. I hope for that to come out by tomorrow. Depending on how long it takes for me to upload this video, that may even be out before this one is. But check that out if you're interested. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something.